For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On October 13, 1978, three students from St. Agnes Catholic School, Patricia O'Brien, 14, Mary Catherine Flynn, 15, and Susan Walsh, 14, disappeared while exploring the historic grounds of their school in rural County Cork, Ireland. The girls had been participating in after-school activities when they vanished without a trace, prompting searches throughout the countryside by local Gardaí and community volunteers. Their disappearance became a troubling mystery in the small Irish village. For 27 years, their fate remained unknown while families and the local community searched for answers about what had happened to the three bright students. Then, in August 2005, renovation workers at the adjacent St. Columba Church made a shocking discovery beneath the altar that would finally reveal the tragic circumstances behind the girls' disappearance decades earlier. This is the complete story of their vanishing and the hidden underground secret that had concealed their fate in the very heart of their religious community. October 13, 1978, was a crisp autumn Friday in the village of Ballymore, County Cork, where St. Agnes Catholic School served students from surrounding rural areas in one of Ireland's most traditional Catholic regions. The school, established in 1923, was known for its strict academic standards and close relationship with the adjacent St. Columba Church, which had been serving the community since the 18th century. Patricia O'Brien, Mary Catherine Flynn, and Susan Walsh were close friends who had attended St. Agnes together since primary school. Patricia was known for her academic excellence and leadership in the school's drama club. Mary Catherine came from a large farming family and was respected for her kindness and reliability. Susan was the most adventurous of the three, often suggesting exploration of the historic buildings and grounds that surrounded their school. After regular classes ended at 3:30 p.m., the three girls had remained at school for drama club rehearsal, preparing for the annual Harvest Festival performance that would be held in St. Columba Church the following month. Sister Margaret O'Sullivan, their drama teacher, later told investigators that all three had participated normally in rehearsal and seemed excited about their roles in the upcoming production. The rehearsal concluded around 5:15 p.m., and Sister Margaret dismissed the students with instructions to return the following Monday for costume fittings. Several other students left immediately to catch buses home to surrounding farms, but Patricia, Mary Catherine, and Susan lingered to discuss their weekend plans and to explore areas of the school grounds they found interesting. The last confirmed sighting of the three girls was by groundskeeper Seamus Murphy, who saw them walking toward the area between the school and St. Columba Church around 5:45 p.m. He remembered thinking they should be heading home before dark, but didn't consider their presence unusual, as students often spent time on the grounds after school activities. When the three girls failed to arrive home by their expected times, Patricia and Susan by 6:30 p.m. and Mary Catherine by 7 p.m. due to her longer journey to the family farm, their parents began contacting each other to determine if the girls were visiting friends or had encountered delays. By 8 p.m., when none of the families had located their daughters, Patricia's father contacted the local Garda station in Ballymore to report the girls missing. Sergeant James Fitzgerald took the initial report and immediately began organizing search efforts, recognizing that three responsible students disappearing simultaneously indicated a serious situation. The initial search focused on the school grounds and surrounding areas where the girls were known to spend time. St. Agnes was located on a historic estate that included several old buildings, stone walls, and wooded areas that provided numerous places where children might explore or potentially become trapped or injured. Sister Margaret and other school staff joined the search efforts, providing detailed knowledge of the school buildings and grounds. The searchers checked classrooms, storage areas, the school's basement, and all accessible buildings on the property, but found no trace of the missing girls. Local volunteers from Ballymore and surrounding farms arrived throughout the evening to assist with the search. The rural Irish community's close-knit nature meant that everyone knew the three families and felt personally invested in finding the missing girls safely. The search expanded significantly on October 14th with the arrival of additional Garda personnel from Cork City and specialized search teams equipped for rural operations. The investigation began with systematic interviews of anyone who had seen the girls on October 13th and detailed examination of their known activities and interests. Father Michael Byrne, pastor of St. Columba Church, provided access to all church buildings and grounds for searching. The church complex included not only the main sanctuary but also a rectory, parish hall, and several outbuildings that had been constructed over the centuries as the religious community grew and evolved. The church itself dated to 1743 and had been built on the site of an even older religious structure, creating a complex architectural history that included foundations, cellars, and structural elements from different time periods. This historical complexity would later prove significant to understanding the girls' fate. Search teams systematically examined every accessible area of both the school and church properties, including storage rooms, basements, attics, and the various outbuildings scattered throughout the grounds. However, no evidence of the girls' presence was discovered despite thorough and professional search efforts. The investigation expanded to consider whether the girls might have left the immediate area voluntarily or been taken elsewhere by someone with criminal intent. However, all three were known to be responsible students with close family relationships and no history of rebellious behavior that might explain voluntary disappearance. Interviews with other students revealed that Patricia, Mary Catherine, and Susan had frequently discussed their interest in the historical aspects of their school and church, often speculating about hidden rooms or passages that might exist in the old buildings. Several classmates mentioned that the girls enjoyed exploring and had talked about investigating areas that were normally off-limits to students. This information led investigators to conduct more detailed searches of areas that students might find interesting but that adults would not typically consider accessible or safe. However, these expanded efforts still produced no concrete evidence about where the girls had gone or what had happened to them. The case received extensive coverage in Irish media, generating hundreds of tips and reported sightings throughout Cork County and beyond. Each lead was investigated, but none provided concrete evidence about the girls' whereabouts or fate during the critical hours after they were last seen. Professional psychics and dowsers offered their services to help locate the missing girls, reflecting the desperation of families and community members searching for any possible leads. While these unconventional approaches were considered, they produced no useful information that advanced the investigation. As weeks passed without breakthrough evidence, the investigation began focusing on the possibility that the girls had suffered fatal accidents in locations that had not been discovered by search teams, or that they had been victims of criminal activity that had concealed their remains effectively. Throughout 1979 and the early 1980s, the case remained active with periodic searches and investigation of new tips or reported sightings. The girls' disappearance had become part of local folklore, with their stories serving as a cautionary tale about the importance of staying in groups and informing adults about exploration activities. The families maintained annual memorial services and continued to hope for answers, though as years passed, most people accepted that Patricia, Mary Catherine, and Susan had likely died shortly after their disappearance, with their remains hidden in locations that extensive searches had failed to discover. In 1985, human remains found in a bog several kilometers from Ballymore initially raised hopes for resolution, but forensic analysis determined they belonged to someone from a much earlier historical period and were unrelated to the missing schoolgirls. The case was officially classified as a cold case in 1988, 10 years after the disappearance, though it remained technically open and families continued to receive periodic updates from Gardaí about any new developments or potential leads that emerged. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, advances in forensic science and investigative techniques offered some hope that cold cases like the Ballymore schoolgirls might eventually be resolved through improved analysis of physical evidence or new approaches to searching historical locations. August 15, 2005, began as a renovation day at St. Columba Church, where extensive restoration work was being conducted to preserve the historic building and upgrade its facilities for modern use. The project included structural improvements, electrical system updates, and careful restoration of architectural features that had deteriorated over the centuries. Construction supervisor Paddy Walsh was overseeing work in the church sanctuary when his crew encountered unexpected structural issues while installing new electrical systems beneath the altar area. The work revealed that the church floor included older foundations and possible void spaces that hadn't been documented in existing architectural plans. Around 2:30 p.m., while excavating carefully around the altar foundations, construction worker Tommy O'Connell discovered what appeared to be an entrance to an underground space that had been sealed off for many years. The opening was partially concealed by stone work and had been completely hidden beneath the altar platform. Initial exploration with flashlights revealed that the opening led to a narrow tunnel or passage that extended beneath the church floor. The tunnel appeared to be much older than the current church structure and might have been part of the original religious site that had existed before the 18th century building. Recognizing the potential historical significance of the discovery, Walsh contacted both the church authorities and local historical preservation officials about the finding. However, what they would discover in the tunnel would prove to be far more significant than architectural history. Father Byrne arrived at the church within an hour of the tunnel discovery, accompanied by representatives from the Cork County Historical Society who were interested in documenting any archaeological findings. The tunnel system appeared to be part of the original medieval religious site that had occupied the location before the current church was built. Initial exploration revealed that the tunnel extended approximately 20 meters beneath the church and connected to what appeared to be a small underground chamber or crypt. The space had been sealed off for many years and contained stagnant air that required ventilation before safe human entry was possible. When proper safety equipment was obtained and the tunnel was deemed safe for exploration, the investigation team made a discovery that immediately transformed an archaeological project into a criminal investigation. Human remains were visible in the underground chamber, along with personal items that appeared to be much more recent than the tunnel's medieval origins. The discovery prompted immediate notification of the Garda, who recognized the potential connection to unsolved missing persons cases in the area. Within hours, the tunnel site was secured as a crime scene and forensic specialists were summoned to conduct careful examination of the evidence. Among the personal items found in the chamber were school identification cards, clothing, and personal belongings that were immediately recognizable as belonging to students from St. Agnes Catholic School. The items appeared to date from the late 1970s, making the connection to the missing schoolgirls immediately apparent. The recovery operation required extreme care due to the age of the tunnel system and the need to preserve evidence while ensuring the safety of investigators working in the confined underground space. Specialized forensic teams with experience in historical sites and confined space recovery conducted the detailed examination. Forensic analysis confirmed that the remains belonged to Patricia O'Brien, Mary Catherine Flynn, and Susan Walsh. Personal items found with the remains included their school uniforms, books, and personal belongings that definitively identified them as the three girls who had disappeared 27 years earlier. The investigation focused on determining how the girls had gained access to the sealed tunnel system and what had caused their deaths in the underground chamber. The tunnel entrance had been concealed beneath the altar, suggesting the girls had discovered access during their exploration of the church grounds. Evidence indicated that the girls had entered the tunnel system voluntarily, likely driven by their known interest in exploring historical areas of their school and church. However, once inside the narrow passages, they had become trapped when the entrance mechanism failed or when they became disoriented in the underground maze. The tunnel system's age and construction meant that it lacked proper ventilation and safety features, creating conditions where anyone trapped inside would face death from suffocation or exposure to dangerous gases that could accumulate in underground spaces over time. The discovery brought closure to three families who had spent 27 years wondering about their daughter's fate. While learning the circumstances of their deaths was heartbreaking, the knowledge that the girls had been found together and had not suffered violence provided some comfort to their relatives. The case highlighted the dangers that historical buildings and underground structures could present to curious children, particularly when access points were not properly secured or when the existence of such spaces was not widely known among current building occupants. Father Byrne and church officials acknowledged that the tunnel system's existence had not been known to current church leadership, representing knowledge that had been lost over the centuries as different generations of clergy had served the parish without complete information about the building's structure. The renovation project was modified to include proper sealing of the tunnel system and installation of safety measures to prevent similar accidents in the future. The girls' discovery led to comprehensive surveys of other historical buildings in the area to identify and secure similar hazards. The construction crew that discovered the remains was recognized for their careful handling of the situation and their immediate notification of appropriate authorities when they realized the significance of their find. Their professional response ensured that evidence was preserved and that the families finally received answers. The story of Patricia O'Brien, Mary Catherine Flynn, and Susan Walsh serves as both a tragedy and an important reminder of the hidden dangers that can exist in historical buildings, particularly those with complex construction histories spanning multiple centuries. The 27-year delay in discovering their fate illustrates how thoroughly underground spaces can conceal evidence, even when extensive searches are conducted above ground. The tunnel system had been completely hidden beneath the church altar, making discovery impossible without major construction work. For Irish building safety authorities and historical preservation organizations, the case provided crucial lessons about the importance of comprehensively documenting underground structures and ensuring that access points to dangerous areas are properly secured. The persistence of the three families in maintaining memorials and keeping their daughter's case in public awareness contributed to the recognition of the construction discovery as potentially significant when the tunnel was first found. The case demonstrates how children's natural curiosity about historical places can encounter hidden hazards that adults may not recognize or remember, particularly in buildings with complex histories that span multiple generations of occupants. Archaeological and construction work continues throughout Ireland's historical sites, with professionals now more aware of both the potential for significant discoveries and the need to consider that underground spaces might contain evidence related to missing persons cases. As of 2005, new safety protocols require comprehensive surveys of historical buildings before renovation work begins, ensuring that dangerous underground structures are identified and properly secured before they can claim additional victims. The Three Schoolgirls story continues to educate both construction professionals and the general public about the importance of building safety and the need to secure access to dangerous areas, while their memory lives on through the safety improvements that resulted from their tragic exploration of the hidden tunnels beneath their church.